What's up, algoritors? So I promised that after meeting or getting to 20,000 subscribers that I would actually answer any of your questions that you have for me. So I'm here to honor my promise. The one of the reasons why I am just overwhelmed, and I can't even put it any other way. I'm overwhelmed at the response that you, my algoritors, you, my fans, or just you who are new to me, all of the support that you're giving me. I promise you, this YouTube channel has been up for less than a month, and I have over 20,000 subscribers. And I'm the type of guy that I try to be as transparent and as real and as true as I possibly can. And I wouldn't be that if I didn't share or tell you guys that this is just the most overwhelming. I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. Even though I do a daily talk show every day, TGIF, and that's where most of you know me from, sometimes I don't feel like that my voice is really heard, or not that it's heard, that it's appreciated. That's the word I'm looking for, because clearly it's heard. And you guys just make me feel like that what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling and how I'm living my life is definitely something that's interesting, something that's entertaining, and most important to me, if you know me, is it's educational. My why in life, my why, it's taken me a minute to find out or to learn what my why is. And I encourage everyone to try to understand and get to what your why is. And my why will always be to educate. You know, I come from a family of educators, but also to entertain. And I try to do it in a good mix of it being a tad bit messy, but real, a tad bit raw, but informative. That's why on this platform, you're going to see content, and all of my content is going to surround that. All right. So I promised you that I'll answer your questions. I got 37 questions. Just know this. Have not read these questions yet. So we're going to stumble through a few, but I'm going to be as honest as I possibly can and as open and transparent as I possibly can, because that's all I know. Okay, first question. All right, this is from Mecca6941. Will we ever see you and Q do any type of collaboration in the future? You guys are very funny together. I don't know what it is about Funky, but immediately working with Funky, I just fell in love with him. As you could see, we had some very good chemistry. I enjoy working with Funky. Funky, he's so talented, and not only is he talented off camera, Funky would coach me through very, very sticky situations in how to handle people, how to handle comments, and also just how to handle other talents in our circle. So, yes, I want to do something with Funky. We've talked about it. If you know Funky, though, he doesn't really go outside of Miami often. And so I think I'm just gonna have to make my way down there, and I'm gonna have to um, get us to do something. So yes, I definitely hope to do something with Funky. All right. All right. So at XAYBAE27, it says, Al, congrats. You've told us about the numerous careers, jobs you have had. Tell us about how did you know when to pivot, and what did those transitions look like? Okay, so all my numerous jobs in employment that I've had, in 2005, I started a corporate consulting business. All right. And I became a corporate strategist. And it was around branding or reconnecting brands and helping them grow their bottom line, depending on what they were looking to do. Most of my work was in diversity. So if you were a brand and you wanted to recruit more African Americans or Hispanic Americans to your platform or to your brand, you usually would hire me to work with your C suite. So the reason why I've had all these different jobs is because as a consultant, you go in, you're not there for long. It depends on the term of the contract. So a lot of contracts, especially when they are implementing or trying to find, you know, the loophole, or not the loophole, when they're trying to find where they could do better and be better, that's where I'm a change manager as well. So I would come in and help them with that. So my assignments usually were 2 years, no longer than 2 years, because after that, the problem is pretty much not solved, but on its road to recovery. And that's when I leave the company and go to my next assignment. So that's why I have so many jobs. How did I know that I wanted to pivot? I knew I needed to pivot because after being married into entertainment, a lot of corporations were very gun shy in hiring me because it's very hard to have a famous person or a celebrity in your corporate structure. A lot of companies shun that. believe it or not, and they think it could expose them to a lot of negative press. And I had a very dark cloud around me as it related to my press. So for me, the way that I kind of circumvented the dark press was I became a consultant. That way I could come in, do my job, and leave. All right. So at JCTR8UQ said, congratulations, Al. Did you try to convince Q to stay on the show? I miss how you would laugh genuinely when Q gets you rolling. I can see the difference now with the trio. Oh man, Our Lady or at JC, I can't really see your avatar, but you're right. It has changed. Like I said, it's something about Q that just struck a chord with me. We were just magic together. A lot of you saw that magic, and it was real. Every day that we filmed, every show that we filmed was coming straight from how we felt and our realness. I did try to convince Q to stay. I begged, and this is an insider that I have never told anyone. I don't know that Q has, because it's very hard for me to follow Q all the time. But if, in all honesty, he wanted to leave earlier because he just wasn't feeling it. So, and we got him to stay that long. So we were happy to keep Q as long as I was happy to keep Q as long as I had him. And I was begging. You guys have no idea. Q was like, would you please stop calling me? So yes, I definitely tried. All right, at Auntie 10 says, congratulations. My apologies if someone asked this. I appreciate the space that you've been holding. Can you tell us more about what inspired you and some steps you took to move into this direction versus corporate? We are glad you're here. Okay, so I really wasn't inspired to move into this direction. I mean, we talk about this often. I went to Cynthia Bailey's wedding with Claudia and Gary with the T, and we were there. We just had so much fun. We were interacting, and Claudia was there with who at the time was the president of Fox Soul. He happened to be there because Mike Hill, who was marrying Cynthia Bailey, had a show on Fox Soul. So just in our interaction and having fun, Claudia decided that she wanted to bring us on the show to talk about a wedding on one of her Friday show when she had Out Loud with Claudia. And the chemistry of the four of us was so enticing to the president that he asked us to come back the next Friday. And basically, that's how I landed in this space. And I'm grateful for it. And this space and being on this show has really kind of helped me put the real narrative around me and who I am out there. So those who've had the fortune of kind of experiencing it, now they know who I really am instead of what they read about, which is 110% probably not the real Al Reynolds. And you've experienced that. So the pivot for me wasn't anything that I planned. It was something that just happened organically. And look, organically, I'm trying to grow it right now. And I appreciate your support, Auntie 10. All right, let's go to Make It Make Sense 2616. What was the pull that brought you into your vision? Okay, what was the pull that brought you into your vision? And how did you push through the noise and stay focused and encouraged on the vision? That's a very good question. Make it make sense. And let me tell you something. It's just how I was raised. Failure was not an option in my family. I think I've shared on the show a couple of times that my mother was an educator and a athlete, and my father was a military guy and an athlete. And so I think when you add those three components, when you add an athlete with an educator, with a military guy, the one thing you can't ever do, or one thing you learn, is resilience. And you also learn to never give up. If you know anything about my life, I have been knocked down. I've been kicked. I've been criticized. I've been talked about. I've been demonized. And all I knew how to do, just learning from my parents, learning from my other 5 siblings, is that you have to get up and you have to keep trying and you have to keep going. And that's been my mantra. And that's what I've been doing. And I don't always get it right, but I do know one thing: I can't stay down. It's just not in my DNA. So for me, how do you push through the noise and stay focused and encouraged? I do the basics like everybody else. I meditate, I journal. I still, at this age, I do vision boards. I speak into existence. I try to speak positively into my existence of where I'm trying to do and where I'm going. I lean heavily on faith. This is no secret to anybody who knows me. I'm a Christian and I'm a proud, God fearing man. And I know that a lot of people don't believe in that, but I do. And that's always been my focus. I always have felt that I need to have faith the size of a mustard seed, and that with that faith comes direction, because I'm simply a vessel. And being a vessel, then I have to acquiesce, if you will, to what it is that God has planned for me. And I have spent many years fighting against it, and trying to figure it out. And as I've grown older and have more trust, I start to realize that it always works itself out. So that would be how I push through the noise and stay focused and encouraged. Okay. Tweety V said, loving your channel. I'm so glad Funky inspired you to give it a chance. Yes, he did. Tweety, you're right. Who are your celebrity crushes, male and female, and what made you get into brand strategy? I know you have a lot of jobs. Okay. What did you want to be when you were growing up? What is something you would love to do career-wise? And